Okay, here's something wild. Back in 2017, a group of researchers at Cambridge did a study. They took the arm bones of women who lived thousands of years ago and compared them to modern female athletes, like actual rowers, women who train for hours, every single day. Guess who won? Not the athletes. The cavewomen crushed them. And I don't mean by a little. I mean their arm bones were stronger, denser, more reinforced. Not close, not tied, beaten. So either these ancient women had a secret CrossFit gym hidden in a cave somewhere, or everything you were taught about cavemen doing all the hard work while the women pick berries is straight up wrong. Spoiler, it's the second one.
And the evidence? It's kind of incredible.
Before I break this down, do me a favor. Tap like, hit subscribe. Trust me, you do not want to miss where this goes. Let's actually break this down, because the headline is cool, but the details, way cooler. The study was led by a researcher named Alison McIntosh. Her team looked at bones from women who lived across roughly 6,000 years of early farming societies in Central Europe. Then they compared those bones to modern runners, rowers, soccer players, and regular sedentary folks. The result? These ancient women's arms showed signs of lifelong, heavy-duty, repetitive work. We're talking grinding grain, hauling water, tending animals, processing food, all day, every day, for decades. And that kind of physical demand, it doesn't show up in modern people, not even in athletes who literally train for it. Here's the part that blew my mind. Your bones aren't just bones. They're alive. They rebuild themselves based on how you use them. It's called Wolff's Law. Basically, if you stress a bone regularly, it gets thicker and stronger right where the stress is. So an ancient skeleton isn't just a pile of leftovers. It's basically a fitness tracker, a permanent record of every rep, every haul, every grind that person did in their lifetime. Which means when we find prehistoric women with bones stronger than Olympic rowers, that's not a fluke. That's not one buff lady. That's the average. That was normal life. Now, here's where things get messy. For most of the 1900s, the accepted story went like this. Men hunted, women stayed at camp. Men did the tough stuff, women did the light stuff. You've seen it. Museum dioramas, textbook drawings, every cartoon ever. Big burly guy with a spear, woman in the background holding a baby and a basket. Cute story. Except when researchers actually started testing it against real evidence, it fell apart fast. Let's talk grain grinding. Before machines existed, turning grain into flour meant kneeling down and pushing a heavy stone back and forth for hours, every day, for your entire life. And guess who did it in most societies? Women. Do the math. That's like a full upper body workout every morning for 40 years straight. Nobody called it exercise. But biologically, that's exactly what it was. Now add carrying, water, firewood, kids, food, tools, often all at once, sometimes miles at a time, multiple times a day. Researchers studying modern traditional societies have watched women carry loads that are a huge chunk of their own body weight, casually, like it's nothing. Meanwhile, most of us struggle with grocery bags and hides. Nobody talks about this one, but processing animal skin into usable leather, brutal work. Scraping, stretching, pounding, softening, hours of it. Grip strength, forearm endurance, shoulder stability, all of it. And in most societies we have records of, guess who did that too? Okay, but here's the one that really flipped the script. In 2020, researchers found a 9,000-year-old burial site in the Andes, a place called Willamaya Petixa. Inside, a young woman, buried with a full-on big-game hunting kit, spear points, butchering tools, the works. At first, people thought, weird exception. So the team went back and rechecked other ancient hunter burials across the Americas. And what they found was crazy. Somewhere between 30 and 50% of those hunter graves, female. Half of the ancient hunters we assumed were dudes weren't. And here's the kicker. Why did we miss this for so long? Simple. Every time archaeologists found hunting tools in a grave, they just assumed male. No test, no analysis. Just, yep, dude. Turns out, a lot of what we knew about prehistoric gender roles wasn't based on evidence at all. It was based on what old school researchers expected to find. Their assumptions, their biases, projected backward onto the past. The evidence was sitting right there, in the ground, the whole time. And if you want more proof, look at modern hunter-gatherer societies today, like the Agta people in the Philippines. Women there hunt with bows, big game, sometimes while carrying their kids. So this idea that hunting and childcare can't mix, that women physically couldn't or wouldn't do both? Yeah, not true. Never was. Oh, and let's not forget pregnancy, which somehow gets completely ignored in the strength conversation. Carrying a baby to term, then delivering it with no epidural, no hospital, no backup plan, and still grinding grain, still hauling water, still working, sometimes doing it 5, 6, 7 times in a lifetime. Try that at your gym, bro. There's even more. Scientists can look at something called enthesial changes. Basically, the spots where muscles attached to bone leave marks. Repeated hard use, bigger, deeper marks. And prehistoric female skeletons? Loaded with them, especially upper body and core. Exactly what you'd expect from a life of heavy manual labor, not from gathering berries. Now, real quick, fair question. Are we just flipping one stereotype for another? Going from passive cave lady to elite athlete cave lady? Honest answer? No, not exactly. Not every prehistoric woman was jacked. Life varied a lot depending on where and when they lived, just like today. But the average? Way, way tougher than the old story ever admitted. That much is rock solid. And it's not just farming and hunting, pottery, weaving, textile production, all physically demanding, all often done by women, kneading heavy clay for hours, working a loom all day, spinning fiber until your hands cramped. Doesn't make a cool cave painting, doesn't sell museum tickets, but your bones remember every hour of it. Oh, and here's a plot twist. When humans switched from hunting to farming, life got harder for women, not easier. More labor, more food to process, more kids, more hours. Farming didn't lighten the load, it piled more on top. So why are we only figuring this out now? Better tools, CT scans, proper skeletal sex testing, real statistical models. The old guys just didn't have this stuff. And to their credit, once we did, science actually corrected itself. That's kind of a win. Here's why this matters. The stories we tell about the past shape what we believe about the present. If we grow up thinking women were always weaker, softer, sidelined, that sticks, even if it's not true. And it's not true. So were cavewomen stronger than we thought? Yeah, by a mile. Stronger than modern athletes, probably hunting big game, definitely working themselves to the bone, literally. All while raising kids and keeping entire societies running. The bones never lied. We just weren't listening until now.